The four attachment styles explained why you love the way you do. Most people think attachment styles are just labels you slap onto relationships after they fall apart. But the truth is far more personal and far more powerful. Attachment styles are not about who you date. They're about how your nervous system learned to survive connection. They were shaped long before romance entered the picture, long before texting, ghosting, or situationships existed. They were formed in moments when you needed closeness, safety, reassurance, or space, and learned sometimes quietly what was available and what wasn't. And today, those early lessons are still running the show behind the scenes, influencing who you feel drawn to, how you react to intimacy, and why certain relationship patterns keep repeating no matter how self-aware you become. Once you understand the four attachment styles, not as flaws but as strategies, you stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" and start asking a far more empowering question: what did I learn about love and how can I update it? Let's start with secure attachment, because this is the baseline everyone compares themselves to, often unfairly. Securely attached people didn't grow up in perfect homes or live emotionally flawless lives. What they had was consistency. When they expressed needs, those needs were met often enough that their nervous system learned a simple rule: connection is safe and distance isn't a threat. As adults, secure people feel comfortable with closeness, but don't panic when space appears. They don't overanalyze delayed replies or assume silence means rejection. They communicate directly, not because they're fearless, but because they trust repair. When conflict happens, they don't see it as the end of the relationship. They see it as a moment to understand, adjust, and reconnect. Secure attachment isn't about being emotionally perfect. It's about having an internal sense that love doesn't require constant vigilance. And that inner calm is exactly why secure people often feel magnetic without trying. They don't chase, they don't withdraw, and they don't test affection. They simply show up as they are, and that steadiness becomes the anchor in the relationship. Now let's talk about anxious attachment, which is often misunderstood as being too needy, when in reality it's rooted in emotional inconsistency. Anxiously attached, people learned early that love was unpredictable. Sometimes closeness was available, sometimes it disappeared. As a result, their nervous system learned to stay alert, scanning for signs of withdrawal, changes in tone, or emotional shifts. In adult relationships, this shows up as overthinking, hyper-awareness, and a deep sensitivity to perceived distance. Anxious attachment isn't about wanting too much. It's about fearing the loss of connection. These individuals love deeply, invest fully, and feel emotions intensely. But when closeness feels threatened, their system goes into protest mode. They may seek reassurance, replay conversations in their head, or try to reestablish connection through texting, questioning, or emotional intensity. What's important to understand is that anxious attachment isn't manipulation, it's survival. It's the nervous system saying, "Please don't disappear on me again." When anxiously attached, people feel safe and consistent